Broken Condom is actually a very controversial song. A lot of people don't know why I wrote that song. It's like 9 minutes and like 30 seconds long. And people don't know why I wrote that song. So Broken Condom was actually about the AIDS pandemic, and it was just really epidemic. It was something that, a lot of people, we think about it, but it doesn't hit close to home with us because we may not know someone, or we may not, because people aren't forthcoming about that. They shouldn't have to. That's their health, and they should be able to keep their health private. But Broken Condom was actually about my Uncle Sydney. God rest his soul. My Uncle Sydney contracted HIV around the time in the 80s when HIV and AIDS was sweeping the community, and they were calling it a gay cancer. My uncle was one of my favorite people. My uncle was my favorite uncle. He loved me. He also shared my love of animals and of beautiful singers. He would always play me Whitney Houston. That's where I heard her first. And, just other great singers, Tevin Campbell and things like that. My uncle would play me. And I remember, not really being around him because he was very private with his life. But, he contracted HIV, and it was actually full-blown AIDS at that time. He contracted it in his youth, so he didn't really have time to explore the world, but he didn't always let that hinder him. He lived a life. He enjoyed flowers. He had a flower shop at one point. He worked in hotels and hospitality and the kitchen as a chef and a cook. My uncle sang in a band. My uncle, loved God. My uncle was just everything to me because he was everything. He did not allow anyone to put boundaries on him or barriers on him. And when I wrote Broken Condom, it was about me telling the story of what happened to him. Now, my uncle never sat down and actually told me exactly how he contracted HIV, but I kind of surmised it. And the first line of Broken Condom says, "I thought that I could trust you, but this was all my fault." So, it stems from, us thinking we can trust somebody to lay down with them, to be intimate, and then they not divulge their status and not tell us. So I watched my uncle as he floated in and out of my life. I watched him struggle, taking experimental drugs and always, throwing up and being at the toilet and not really being able to live a life full of zeal because he was really, really sick. My uncle actually lived to see his 40th birthday, and then he died. His 40th birthday was in March, and then he died somewhere in April, I believe. And the crazy thing is, here I am. This is my 40th year. I turned 40 years old, and I'm HIV negative, and I'm on PrEP, and I'm very cautious about, who I lay down with. It's just not something that I take lightly. So this song, like I said, it just came out of me. I was channeling my uncle because he's gone on. So I was channeling him when I went in the booth. And I remember my producer at that time saying, "Let's see what you come up with." And I remember this song distinctly because this song flowed out of me like a lament. It was something that needed to be said, and I was saying it. And I literally sang this whole song in one take. We didn't stop for anything. They turned the lights off in the studio, and I actually was able to envision my uncle and envision his pain of trusting the wrong person. And I literally just came out with this song, and it's quite a different song if you listen to it, because I'm actually telling the person, "You destroyed my life. You destroyed my life." Now, we are all responsible for our lives and our status and things like that. But I also am a firm believer that everyone, before lying down with a partner, should divulge at least to that partner what their status is. I mean, you owe them that. For you to be laying down and, having intercourse with them, you owe them the truth about your status and the truth about your health. So, 9 minutes and like 36 seconds. is Broken Condom. And I named it Broken Condom because I wanted the public to get it immediately. I wanted them to understand that this song was about disease, and not just disease, it was about HIV. So that song came out one take, and I'm really glad that that one's on the album because it's a way to honor my uncle's memory. My uncle's name was Sidney, so I get to honor his memory through that song and help other young African American boys or anyone who hears this song, gay, straight, to remember to always wrap it up, to always protect yourself, because if not, this could be your story. So that's kind of where that song stems from.